Welcome to Reality Test. I'm Dr. Ray.
And I'm Dr. Kay. Feel free to check in and take a seat wherever you like. We're doing award shows today. The awards are getting handed out.
Yes, we've got many awards to hand out. It's October. It's getting chilly. And some of these people on these shows are a little chilly too. They got to be a little warmer to their fellow castmates.
Yes,
I try.
Nice analogy. I like it. It is notably chillier, though. That is a very, what's the word, like timely thing to say, because it is effing chilly. It smells like fall.
It smells like fall, and that joke smells like my dog's poop. But we're doing our best. I should not quit my day job because the comedy career is not working right now.
The similes and analogies are something.
Really something right now. But I seem to be committed to the bit, so I guess we'll see where this leads us.
Follow through. Okay, we'll cut most of that. That's totally fine. We got there.
Maybe keep one of them, but the rest.
Yeah, we'll keep a little bit. I'll keep a touch,
maybe
a smattering.
Maybe a touch, not. We'll see. Oh God. But anyway, we're doing our award show. It's fall.
Yes.
I just did a really weird attempt at a joke, that analogy, simile, metaphor. I'm not really sure, but I think we're going to cut it because it was painful for everyone involved.
We might keep some of it. Like you said, we'll keep a touch. We'll cut some more of it. We'll just see what happens. See what makes it in. What we'll make it in the final cut. Nobody knows. We have our normal structure as well today, which means first I will start by saying we're therapists, but not your therapists. And other therapists are the folks that we talk about today in our words examples. And therefore, we don't know their diagnoses if they have any, but we might talk about diagnoses sort of in an adjacent manner because we don't know for sure without fully assessing them. But before we do that, we'll do our check-ins. So what is on your heart and mind today, dear Dr. Ray?
I am going to New York tomorrow for a queer film festival, and I'm very excited about it. And yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I'm glad it's cooled down. It was too hot. Also, this was weird, but someone did a manhole in front of my house today. I didn't even know what a manhole was, but apparently it's just a hole that a man can fit in. So already sexist, already out. But like, no one told me this manhole was happening. And they were like, I think every person in the town I live in who does construction was working on this manhole. Wow. There was a big fucking diggy thing, whatever that's called. There was like drills. There was, everything was there. And I was like, this is a really intense construction project. And,
that's wild. I've never heard of someone doing a manhole. That is so funny. I mean, they should call it a person hole. I've never heard of someone doing a person hole, but that makes sense. They just like literally did one. They made one from scratch, from the earth below your feet.
Truly. And they cut into my driveway. And I felt crotchety. I was like, so you're gonna put that back.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll take some fresh new paving if you'd like.
Yeah, you could even do the rest if you want to, but no pressure. But no, that didn't happen. And they did cover their work. But it was a really intense. I'm like, what's the goal here? You got some manhole-y things that need to happen in my driveway? Like, what are we doing? I still don't know. But
yeah, they're like trying to get down to the sewer up there.
Maybe they're like building an underground society, like in those comics.
That sounds more exciting. Yeah. That would be a good use for a person hole.
Maybe if things keep getting weird, like maybe I'll be down there before I know it.
We'll be recording from the underground.
It'll be a Dr. Ray hole. Nope. Nope. Oh, it's getting worse. It's just getting worse every time.
It's just he's going.
Let's see how far. Yes, y'all, we are in the gutter, but not even a good gutter. Like it's painful for everyone. But here we are. But that's my update. New York City and manholes is what I've got going on.
I love it. Yeah, that seems like an important area for activism too. So person holes, New York and person holes.
I'm here for it.
Very exciting trip ahead, and always love New York. Very cool, and also good timing to go to New York. I love being in New York during the fall weather. It's actually so fun, and so crispy. A good time for like a cute trench coat or something.
Yay. Can't wait.
Pea coat.
Yes.
Fabulous. My check-in is that, well, actually, because it's on my wall, I'll share with you my new, my finished embroidery work that I told you I would show you when I was done with it. Ready for this? Now y'all have to watch the video to see too, otherwise you're just going to hear about it. But sort of, I don't know if this will come out backwards or not, but
wait, okay. I love it.
Right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That is
I put it
really
inside the clock
good.
face. Thank you.
So good. Like,
thank you so much.
Wow, the message kills. The colors amazing. No notes.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. My feminist messaging, and I also made the mountain colors based on a drawing. I think I might have said this the first time I brought this up, but the drawing that my niece made me. So it was fun, kind of being inspired. It was my first ever embroidery go free-handed. I've only ever done one other one, but the other one I did was like in a kit, so they like had the drawing on there for you that you just fill in. So this one I just went from scratch, and I like it a lot better than the other one I did, so I'm excited about it.
I think it's beautiful. I love it. You might have a like business in store. Like, I'd buy a Be a Cunt clock any day of the week.
Right? I know, because this clock doesn't work, so I was like, I'll repurpose it. The main thing is it's round. Like, what the fuck do you do with a round piece of art like that? Like, in like fabric art, I don't want to make a pillow that's tiny. It would be like a tiny pillow, you know? So I was like, I don't know. I don't want to make a pot holder. So I was like, I'll just make it wall art. And then when I was like, it's going to be wall art, I was like, I don't have any round frames. And I was like, I have a clock that's broken.
And that works perfectly as a frame.
It sure does.
Brilliant. Bloody brilliant.
Thank you so much. Yeah, my brother and I were talking about it, and I said, okay, I need a good feminist phrase for this. And he was like, how about don't be a cunt? And I was like, scratch that, reverse it. And we got ourselves a feminist statement. Done.
I love it. I was going to say, oh, did I miss the don't? And then I was, oh, no. I love it.
No don'ts. Always, always be as cunty as you need to. I like it.
Situation calls for.
Exactly. Sometimes it's the only way to get through shit, and I'm here for it. Advocate. Self-advocating. Self-advocating.
Yes. I love it. TM.
Yeah, seriously. I was like, I actually am so loving that right now. New messaging that I shall give people. Which actually brings me, because I was going to say I'll tell my clients that, which will bring me also to our next section. So I say we hurl our bodies right into it, which is the reality check section, whereby we talk about studies that are in the world that we think are relevant in some way, maybe not, but something that we think would be helpful for us all to be thinking about as listeners or co-hosts of this very fine podcast here. So what do you have for us, Dr. Ray, as your study for this week?
Yes. So this study was in the clinics in dermatology. It's called Psychology of Aesthetics, Beauty, Social Media, and Body Dysmorphic Disorder. And it's one of those kind of no-does, but sometimes you have to do no-duh research to prove what seems intuitively obvious.
I like it.
So this talks about studies showing, I think it's like a systematic review. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, studies showing that frequent social media use may lead to unrealistic body image ideals, significant concern with appearance and anxiety. Also, social media exposure can worsen body image dissatisfaction, addiction to social networking sites, as they're called, and comorbidities with body dysmorphic disorder, including eating disorders. And excessive social media use can increase preoccupation with imagined image deficits and leading them to pursue more minimally invasive cosmetic and plastic surgery procedures. So both those that are less invasive and those that are a little more invasive. So it's all kind of no duh, but it seems like social media use is not good for one's mental health, anxiety levels. And if you are predisposed to kind of some body dissatisfaction, social media may exacerbate that and also make you want to watch social media more, and then maybe make you pursue more plastic surgery, which kind of makes sense with a lot of these influencers who are also reality TV contestants, because that's their life and business is social media, right? So of course they're more apt to pursue plastic surgery. It's a part of their job. And unfortunately these days, it almost seems like it's part of the gig, which kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can imagine they even like get free, work to then promote it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no shame in the game. Like,
Mm-mm.
I think whatever you want to do to your body is your choice. And if your
Mm-hmm.
choice is being influenced too much by a standard that's making you unhappy, and as you've mentioned previously, Dr. Kay, people with body dysmorphic disorder, they may get surgeries and still be unhappy with the way they look. So it kind of is building upon itself. That's kind of less helpful, like getting more and more and more surgeries kind of thing.
Yeah. Or even worse, because body dysmorphia is a type of OCD, so that in particular, right, is like an obsessiveness and then a compulsiveness or a compulsion to keep trying over and over again and not get a better result. But even more than that, everybody, regardless of their clinical or not picture, if we try to go for having the perfect face, like if our goal is to have the perfect face or have a dream job, then we're going to be less happy with it than if that hadn't been our goal to begin with. So just having it as a goal is a negative thing, regardless of your mental health. It's so sad. It's good to know. But then also, it means that when your view is on social media in your study, if your view is that you're seeing somebody with what you see as the perfect face, and then that becomes a goal because you're seeing it on social media, then you will not actually be happy with that goal, even if you reach it.
Mm-hmm. You will still continue to have issues. And that's the thing with any sort of obsessive compulsive thing. It tends to exacerbate and get worse and worse. Your desire for control or to feel relief can make you continuing to pursue the thing, and you never kind of, or the capacity of the compulsion that's needed to get that relief increases. So kind of similar with body dysmorphic disorder, but kind of different maybe too.
Yeah. The presence of the OCD piece or body dysmorphia would amplify it so much more, because then it's like the constant focus, and like you said, then becomes iterative or like compounded.
Totally.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. Kind of a bummer.
I also remember, wasn't there like a study that showed that social media was also like increasing narcissism? Do you remember that? That was like an early days study.
Makes
I don't know.
Also makes intuitive sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there was some sort of counter to it. Like, I don't remember what that was either. The original one came out like right away when social media started, and it was like, this new generation is more narcissistic than any other one, and like not surprising because they're also growing up on social media. And then they connected it to social media. And then there was another study, and I can't remember if it was like just tackling narcissism among that generation. Like they were like, oh wait, the iGen is not that much more narcissistic or something like that. Or if it was that social media isn't always increasing it. But maybe that is something I will look into for a future study, because I can't remember what, but something came out sort of counter to that. But the original view, and I think still stands, is that there is an increase in narcissism amongst people, perhaps like even healthy narcissism, because you are forced to narrate yourself or like talk about what your image is, or like increase your image, or talk about yourself like what you had for dinner or whatever. So like you see yourself as an external being, or as a self-sustaining being, and just by seeing yourself that way, you're more likely to want to survive. So that's not a bad thing, perhaps.
It's adaptive, and
it's
helpful
adaptive
in some ways, probably less helpful in others.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Which is where we land on with that study, which is very unhelpful. Yeah. In a loop. There's a lot of studies about that. Not studies, examples, case examples, if you will, about people who get addicted to facial plastic surgery and then end up in just like a very, like, honestly kind of scary place. Like, so definitely the most extreme versions of that too are very startling. Scary.
Yes. There's these two twins online who have had, they saw like some sort of something, but they've had so much plastic surgery and they don't look human, really. It's kind of, it's kind of, I mean, not to like shame their appearance, and it's just, they no longer quite look like human people. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, totally. Oh, that's scary. It's like, it reminds me of sort of the difference also between like runway fashion and like fashion, what's fashionable for anybody to wear. It's sort of like there's a difference between the type of plastic surgery that like anybody off the street or normal, quote unquote normal, like someone who's not in the public eye might get. And then there's the version of plastic surgery that's like much more extreme. That is the like people who are influencers, or in thinking about the twins, right? Like where that became part of their image was that they were like plastic surgery queens, that then it becomes the much more extreme version that looks just sort of surreal or like alien, just like fashion on the runway often does.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good point. Or like that show Botched. I could never eat during that show on E. I would always get like sick to my I would like get a snack and then I'd be like, nope, no snack. This is the human body being opened up. It's freaking me out.
Yeah, that one's not for me. Did you ever see the show Nip Tuck?
I did not. That was pre-botched, I really liked it. Right?
Yes, it was pre-botched. And it was, and it's completely fake or whatever. Who is it? It's somebody who's like, it's like Ryan Murphy or something. It's somebody who like, yeah, it's like big name. And then it was like one of their early shows and then whatever. And it was like really good, actually. I liked it a lot. I watched it a lot in high school, but I can't even remember what show. It was like maybe even HBO or something. It was one of those channels that like doesn't, Showtime or something. It doesn't have a lot of. Cool. Now I'm curious about who it was. I feel like if I say Ryan Murphy, then I'm almost positive, actually. I feel like I'm going to be really excited when I find out that I was right about it being Ryan Murphy. That's my decision right now. I'm going to just believe in myself. Ryan Murphy. Yeah. Okay. I did not need to be as excited by that, even though I like even called it. I was like, I'm going to be excited, and I was still just as excited.
Okay. Yeah, self-knowledge is a beautiful thing.
Exactly. Self-compassion about my knowledge. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, fabulous. Great example of a study. Love that. My study is one recommended by my client, the client with whom I work, who listens to our podcast. So they specifically suggested it for this very segment and relates to something that is relational in content, just like you and I are relationship folks, relationship focused, because we're not relationship therapists, because we don't only work on relationships. We're not couples therapists, but we are relational in the way that we give therapy, which also means we believe in growth fostering relationships being an important part of life. In fact, the most healing. So one of the things that is really neat is thinking about the intersection of sleepiness, and relationship quality. So one of the things that you might have found, right, like there's this sort of stigma around if you're yawning with somebody, then like you're bored. And so like, therefore, if you're like with somebody that's your romantic partner and you're yawning, but like you're around friends and then they're like excited and like upbeat and that must mean that they're like bored with their romantic relationship and much prefer having friendships and so forth, new friendships and so forth. But the truth is, when you are in a romantic relationship, you also have higher levels of oxytocin. That's also known as the cuddle hormone, and what we do when we are bonding in a pair. So literally when you cuddle, we release oxytocin. Same thing with little babies. We cuddle a baby, we release oxytocin. But the cool thing about romantic relationships is just being in the presence of your romantic partner also releases oxytocin. So you don't have to be cuddling specifically. What we now know is that oxytocin also has a positive impact on sleep. And so having more oxytocin also means you're more likely to fall asleep quickly and you rest more efficiently. So you have an increase in REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. Therefore, the love hormone, which is often released during sexual activity, particularly during orgasm, but it's also released just in the presence of a romantic partner to whom you are closely attached or strongly attached, is also one that helps with reduced sleep latency, finding it easier to fall asleep. This study was in the Sleep Science Journal in 2022. The author's name I cannot pronounce, so I'm going to give you the spelling instead. SELC with the accent that goes under it, and then UK. And they talk about how high quality sleep, or what we call restorative sleep, requires a relaxed state, and we're more likely to be in a relaxed state if we are around a partner with whom we feel safe. So the other thing that's related to this is it's not just a relationship. It's when that relationship is a particularly strong relationship, and you know it's particularly strong, and what actually seems to be the specific factor is the perceived partner responsiveness. So the extent to which you think that your partner understands, appreciates, and truly cares for you is therefore a critical predictor of sleep quality.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Isn't that really sweet? And so like the other interacting feature is how it relates to the stress hormone called cortisol. So obviously, cortisol being released when you're under stress, that's a byproduct. It means that, you've been increased amount of stress if your cortisol is increased because your body tried to react to it. So the idea that you have a higher cortisol level, the interplay between oxytocin and cortisol would therefore affect our sleep quality. Increased cortisol in response to stress because it's getting your body amped to respond to something that's stressful. So the idea is that oxytocin can reduce your reactivity to stress and therefore your cortisol level. If you have reduced cortisol and therefore you are feeling less stressed in your body, then you will also sleep better. What do you know? So therefore that is exactly coming back to that point about how a relaxed state will also make you sleep more efficiently and effectively. So with all of that in mind, Let me see if there's any other thing. Oh, the last point I wanted to just make is that just because you have less sleep doesn't mean your relationship is not a good one. And just because you have sleepiness around your partner does not mean that your relationship is a good one. So like it doesn't, even though it could mean that there could be a relationship between your oxytocin and your sleep because your relationship is stable, it's not the only factor. Of course, we know there's like hundreds of factors that affect our sleep. So that doesn't actually tell you for sure. It's a correlation, not a causation situation. But just to say that sometimes if your partner is yawning and feels much more comfortable around you, that might not be a bad thing. It reminds me when I was first connecting with my now husband, there was one day where just like, I don't even remember, it wasn't even that stressful of the day, but I ended up just falling asleep on his shoulder. One of the first days we were just like spending time together watching TV, I fell asleep and he just like loved it. He was like, oh my gosh, she fell asleep on my shoulder, and it was just the sweetest thing. And I sort of was like, so? You know, like I was like, okay. But he was like, you were so comfortable with me that you just like felt like you could fall asleep and felt safe. And I was like, you're right, that is kind of cute. So it's just really, you're right, I did feel safe. So this kind of comes back to that too, apparently. Just being on his shoulder released oxytocin, and he feels safe enough at a relaxed state to be able to sleep efficiently. And it then put him in a position where he's like, I didn't want to move because I didn't want to wake you up. But then I was like, just stuck there, my shoulder hurt. I was like, you went through pain just to let me sleep. That's very sweet. We can get married now.
Yes, let us marry now. Oh, yes. That sounds like a really adorable moment of connection.
It was really sweet. It's so true with babies too, right? Like we're just so, it's like if we think about how there's some babies that won't fall asleep unless you're holding them in your arms.
Mm-hmm. They need that little connection. I love this too. Next time I'm yawning when someone's talking, I'll be like, it just means I feel comfortable with you, according to science.
Relaxed state.
Yeah. So actually this is a good thing right now. So please do not be offended.
Yeah. Actually, you're welcome.
Actually, you're welcome. This is a huge compliment. You should be honored.
Exactly.
Talk is cheap, but look at what I'm doing. This means I'm very comfortable with you. I love this. I'm gonna reframe the shit out of my embarrassing yawns at times. So
true. Like as therapists, obviously, no one wants their therapist to yawn because we don't want to feel like we're boring them. But maybe it's also low-key showing that they feel comfortable with you as a therapist. I mean, ideally they're not yawning excessively, but it could be just that they're feeling like, good, this is like our normal back and forth. I'm feeling good with you. I mean, we have to get good at like negating a yawn as it comes.
It's so hard. It's like, and then I do this with my face, which isn't great, but it's like, that's not empathic, but it's, I don't know what else to do.
You're not like mirroring per se in that moment.
No, I'm like,
how funny would it be if like a client mirrored you doing that? Like
that would be amazing
because we mirror. Yeah, they're like,
that would be an amazing call out of what's happening.
You'd be like, shit, my face is doing that.
Like, what? Are you shocked by what I'm saying? No. Maybe it's better to just yawn. We'll see. Maybe I'll play around with it.
Look around a little bit. Tell your client first, like maybe during informed consent. Like if there's ever yawning, it's because I feel comfortable, and that means that we have a good back and forth where our relationship is going strongly. So that's a good thing. And then
I genuinely think that's true. Like I think that is the case, indeed.
Me too. When I'm stressed out about somebody, I'm not going to be anywhere near tired, right? My eyes are going to be like bugged out. If a client's stressing us out because either I'm worried for their sake or we're brand new working together, right? There's no way I'd be yawning in that context. So
yeah. We're kind of, but yes, a huge compliment.
Exactly. So don't worry, Dr. Ray, you're welcome to yawn during tonight's festivities, especially because it is a later evening yet again, and it is dark out because it is in our way towards the winter we head, and also because we're doing awards tonight. So we have some, shows that we talk about that the other person hasn't seen. So who knows? Maybe that, you might find some of what I'm sharing to be boring because you don't relate to it, or you're going to be like, I'm just so comfortable with you, so that's how I'm going to remember it. You're not bored by it. You don't not know my content. You're just excited and yet you're not excited, the opposite. You're so relaxed state with me.
That I'm just comfortable. Actually, as you were sharing that, when someone yawns, how you yawn, as you were talking about yawning, I was like, I could fucking yawn right now. Like I could do it.
I could go for a yawn.
I thought about it, but then I was like, no, don't break the flow.
No. Yeah, absolutely. Really though, I actually really don't take offense to yawning. I don't know if it's more like because maybe subconsciously I knew it was a relaxed state, but I've never been one to take offense to that. I do think it's funny that we have our mirror neurons. Like our mirror neurons get fired up by seeing someone yawn. It makes us yawn too. So before you know it, we'll just be yawning together in succession.
Mm-hmm. It might happen. Stay tuned.
But you got to watch the video version. You'll never know otherwise. Okay. This is wild. We're going off the rails. Okay, let's do it.
The rails have been brought off the ship. Nope. Nope.
Something like that. One of those versions there.
Oh, God.
Okay, fabulous.
This is my night. I'll tell you what.
This is fucking questionable.
MF night.
This is fucking questionable. Well, the good news is, you'll get a break. You're going to get a break ahead. So next week, listeners, there may either be an episode without Dr. Ray, which will be very sad. But also, if there is an episode at all, that's a gift, maybe. And otherwise, we might take a week off, and then we'll see you in 2. Or there'll be a guest with us here next week. So stay tuned to find out. And then for now, for our awards, if you have been here before, you know this to be true, but our 8 awards all have the word test somewhere in their title because this is reality test after all. So you'll notice that we are emphasizing the word test within the titles or labels of our awards. With that in mind, before we get started, the shows I'm going to be referring to, I actually sort of took a page out of your book, Dr. Ray, and only talked about 2 shows. So 2 shows here are the real, not like only, I stuck to 2 shows that were bigger in my mind. One was Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and the other is Love is Blind.
Yay! I'm excited. Wow, this might be the first time I have more shows than you.
I know, excited, tell me.
I have 3. I have Golden Bachelor. I have Love Island Games and Love is Blind. Those are my 3.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. I'm so excited you started Love is Blind. Good. Oh, good. So then I can talk about people and you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm excited.
Yes. My goal is to catch up. So if you want, we can, and listeners, tell us what you think, but we can kind of cover that when we get back from our little break.
That sounds great. I love it. There's a lot of richness there in terms of relational terms.
Oof. Yeah. What's going on?
So, I know. Tell me what you have for your first award, which is called Protest This Mess. So this is a mess you're protesting because it's the meanest, saddest, drunkest, or most obnoxious moment or castmate.
So I'm going to go over to Love Island Games, and oh my gosh, Andreina, I believe is how you say her name.
I think it's like Andreina.
Andreina, thank you. Yes, Andreina. This lovely, wonderful human being was first with, oh my gosh, what is his name? Tyree?
Yeah, I think it's Tyree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he kind of ditched her, and it's sad. It feels like a lot of these men are kind of like fetishizing her for her looks because she is gorgeous. And then because she wasn't like the top competitor, ditched her. Then Johnny, this other guy, swoops in at just the right time. Apparently they have a history and they've kind of like hooked up before the show. And so he couples up with her and is like, I'm your Prince Charming, blah, blah, blah. And then he clearly makes up his mind that he doesn't want to be with her anymore, maybe because he feels like she's not trying hard enough. But I feel like that's just a front. And what actually is going on for him is he's decided he doesn't like her and he's more concerned about winning the game. So he gives her feedback about this. It's a bit of a central relational paradox for her because she's heard this before. And so she gets scared, but she's also like, I'm going to try. And then he fucking dumps her. It like at the like there was an opportunity for him to pick someone else and he went for it and totally ditched her. And I just thought it was so mean and so cruel. And I didn't like it. And I don't think she deserved it. And she deserved someone really great. And, you know, I'm sorry that she's had some bad experiences with men and has felt the need because of that to protect her heart and put walls up. So it just sucks.
Totally. Yeah, Johnny's a dick, dude. He's been on other seasons, and he was also on The Challenge, too. And he, like, came into The Challenge with a ride or die one season that, like, clearly was really into him. The woman was really into him. And then he hooked up with someone else the first night. Before there was, like, even really a show started. He was, like, hooking up with... Oh, no, it was even before that, because they, like, hooked up on the bus or something on the way in. It's just, like, a whole ass thing. He's really self-centered, frankly. He really just cares about himself. And... potentially getting laid as a part of that.
And he was like, I'm like your Prince Charles. Like he loved that he was like rescuing her. And then once he And they were like clearly like engaging. I don't know what they were doing, but they were clearly like having fun together. And then when he felt like she no longer served his purpose, he just ditched her. It was awful.
Ugh.
I hated it.
Ugh. Come on, Johnny, do better. It's a bummer that he can watch himself back on these shows and see people have these opinions of him and really not change basically anything about it. So I guess he's sort of like in his own playbook. You know, he's really just interested in his own views of himself and time he gets to spend on TV and with women. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you clocked like Andreina when she first came on the show was like, yeah, there were like 4 people that came into my DMs, like Johnny, Tyree, someone else who came right in right away too, who's like white. He was.
We'll see what happens for him.
Yeah, yes, we will. I'm excited for you to watch more Love is Blind and tell me what you think.
Cannot wait.
Yes, and to all of you too. Please do enjoy your reality TV and sound off in the comments if you have things to say. We're always down to hear what you have to say about Love is Blind too. I'm always interested.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You'll also notice that our social media has changed to be all aligned, which is we are all at Reality Test Pod, at Reality Test Pod. That's for Facebook, YouTube, and also TikTok. Our Instagram is now at Reality Test Podcast. Basically the same, just add a cast at the end. You'll also find us, perhaps most importantly, at Patreon, www.patreon.com/realitytest. You can also go into our search bar and then search at the @ reality test, and you'll find it. It's $5 a month. Very cheap. Very, very cheap. You can also join for free. Be a free member of our Reality Test Patreon in order to get access to our audio episodes a night before. So you'll get it a good, 12 plus hours before you would otherwise get the audio podcast. So that's fun. That's free. Become a free member. You could also pay $5 a month to then be able to see the full video episodes. Otherwise, you'll see the excerpt versions on youtube.com/@realitytestpod. Pod. And last but not least, we're also on Gmail. You can email us if you're just poking around on email if you like emailing somebody. No, just kidding. No, I don't know. Maybe you have more of a purpose than that, but you're also welcome to email it just for fun, whatever. And that's at realitycheckpodding, PODDING.com, @gmail.com.
That one. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and tell all your friends. $5 a month can make a big difference in our ability to keep doing this thing we love. So, and thank you so much for listening. Yes.
Yeah, Parasang guy. And hi, friends that are here because you were told by somebody else. Glad to have you. Tell more of your friends. Proliferate. Let it proliferate. And with that in mind, we will see you all next session. Bye, friends.